Hello, hello. How is everybody? How are you today? I am having a very nice fall-ish week, although it's supposed to be 90 again Tuesday or Wednesday, I think, in southern Wisconsin. So it's going to be a sort of that usual. It's pretend fall and then real fall. Although I think it's a thornless honey locust tree that is outside of the window my cats like to look out of. Is already starting to turn yellow. So it's kind of fall-ish. And if you are catching this on the replay, I know that the Kendra's Card Challenge video team is doing a live stream hop, and you may be at Elizabeth's stream right now. If that is true, hello, welcome. Feel free to leave a comment when you are done. Also, as Shanna streamed earlier today, as part of that, we're going to redirect to Lala or Bummy Guide Inc. stream at the end of my usual window. So that will be coming up at 7 Central or some other time in your time zone. I know we have a lot of Eastern time zone friends. Hey, Jim. Hello, Cordelia. Hey, Danny. And anyone else I missed? Let me see. Oh, hey, hello, Barbara. Welcome, welcome. So it was a relatively light mail week, but let me show you what we got nonetheless. This was a gift to myself because one of my very good friends in the crafty worlds has christened me Papa Smurf. So this is the Papa Smurf hat, and it's actually really well made. So I picked this up this week, and I just thought I'd show it to you because I'm not on camera today. And I do like it's a curved rim, which I personally find a lot more useful because I'm short, y'all, and I like to have the sun kept out of my eyes. Normally, I have these kind of flat brim hats like this one. This is I don't know. It was made by a good friend of mine who no longer makes hats, but I like the message of his brand. The PR is for pursuing resiliency, and I think resiliency is always a good thing to focus on, especially as we get older, because it's sort of like, you may not be doing what you're doing in your 20s, but you're doing something. So let me look at our happy mail, and then we have. I thought we could do the rest of the pink and Maine, and then play around with the Honeybee Stamps former paper from this was a Kendra's Cards Challenge kit. So let us see what we got. This came from a friend in Canada, but I didn't see a swap name on it. So we will see what we have. Got another thing from Kendra, which was very surprising to me. Just because we got mail last week. So who knows? Always a mystery. Oh, how pretty. Look how nice that is. I really like that. Oh, this is from Allie's Pen Pal Swaps. Very nice. Cute sentiment, too. I do like the peacock. This is really cool where it's sort of like this dual color stamping. I don't know if that's a thing. But then you see it in the peacock as well. Oh, Lennox is here. He may knock the camera. You may have seen his shadow. You'll see a paw shortly over there. You just saw a paw and a whisker. Oh, there's his nose. Hello. Your adoring fans are happy to see you, sir. Another week not over the Rainbow Bridge is always a good week for all of us, I would say. Anyway, very cute card. I'm a fan. And also a good, you could have executed this card probably all stamping if you wanted to. So a good, it doesn't need 700 layers of bling on it kind of card, too, which I think we all need reminding that, you don't necessarily need to do all the things. Speaking of all the things I didn't need but bought anyway, if you recall, my friend Shanna, who was streaming earlier today, we played with the Big Cat part of this, so I picked up the sentiments because I really wanted these curved ones because I couldn't quite figure out how to do that with a level stamp. And I really like this sort of curved banner. Anyway, I'm sure I could have just cut a standard banner and it would have been fine, but they were on sale, and that's kind of how these things go. Do you? One of my friends fostered kittens for a very long time. I think she only stopped when her husband got dementia and needed more time and attention, but she was very much into it. I think it's she always fostered kind of the more less people friendly cats. But I don't know. I think that you can definitely tell when cats have had a lot of socialization. In fact, both of my cats came from a feral cat foster here in Wisconsin, and I don't know. They do great work. They may or may not take good stage direction, but they're very friendly boys. Anyway, so as usual, this came with a cute little thank you from Miss Kendra. Who knows? Maybe it's another card kit. I would not be mad about that. It's another card kit. And I actually recognize this paper, so I won't spoil it. But this was, well, I won't spoil it. I will do my due diligence and scan the thingy. But I owned this paper pad last year, so that should be fun and very in keeping with our September being kind of fall. It actually looks just like my intro, which is funny. And then this is the one we got last week. This is, so the paper is honeybee stamps. The roses are stickers. So I think this will be, we could go a couple different ways. And then I also have the remains of the Pink and Main Quick and Easy Halloween card kit, which has really cute stuff. This has some nice sentiments I hope never to use, like condolences, but and there is this really cool piece on the back. So we might color this. I don't know if anyone has preferences. Speak now or complain later. I do kind of like the idea of doing a condolences card, even though I don't like the idea of a condolences card. So we have some really nice rose stickers. And vinyl stickers are pretty easy to find on your favorite Shopping for Everything website. And they are kind of underutilized. So just FYI, if you're ever sort of like looking for ways to do more quick and easy cards, stickers are great. Especially like these that are matte. We have some adhesive gems, and then we have greetings. We could do greetings. Greetings would be a little less somber. But I think given that we have sort of roses in black and white, this does sort of fit itself in sort of a more formal card. Let's see what we get. We get black paper, which we have lots of already, but that's good. Ooh, this hex is really nice. I like this. So I think this is going to be very well suited to like a clean and simple card, but I might just cut a black card base because I'm sure I have black cardstock somewhere. We shall see though. Then we have some, I think we have one other piece that's a full panel. Yeah. Nice gingham. Could actually do a craft roulette card with this because checked was a thing, or checks was a element. Although it was also tulip colors. And I actually researched if there were black tulips, and the answer is sort of. Oh, this would be nice. Thinking something like that. That would look really cool, especially on the lighter one. I might do that. And then we have some zigzags and some other pieces, and we have a lot of paper in here. I will say for these mystery card kits, we always seem to get a lot of paper, which I really like. Now, it would be interesting to color this because I think that would look really striking. What we could do is steal one of Kendra's designs and basically matte this and then do kind of sort of like this kind of a vibe, you know, or not matte it and do that. But she's got a lot of cards that sort of have this kind of look. Well, where you have a large piece, a horizontal piece, and then you have sort of a matted focal piece. Let's do that because I haven't colored anything in forever. So I think that would be kind of fun. And Linux won't obstruct the coloring too much. Let's see what I am missing. Hello, Alyssa. How are you? Hello, Spruce and Glue. Tailored Express. What did we get from Tailored Expressions? Oh, that is cool. I like that. You'll have to post that, Cordelia. I'm curious to see what that stamp looks like. I just got a new one that I put on some card and now I'm forgetting, but I got a smaller one. I had one that was like a 2x4, kind of like 2 inches high with 4 inches wide, that had like all the social logos. In fact, it's here. Ignore the fact that I got lots of ink all over it, but it has all my it has the YouTube and Instagram logo and says Craft by Jay. But I just got a new one that I'm not seeing. Oh, it's right here. This is the new one I got. That's just it says Craft by Jay, but it's much smaller. This will fit on a 1 by 3/4 inch circle. So I think I can just mass produce like the circles that are stamped and then go from there. But I'm gonna shut up and see if I can't find my markers. I'm thinking pink more than red when it comes to the roses. Although, obviously, roses can be whatever color you want. Yeah, let's start with... This is a purpley pink, which I think would be kind of pretty. So let's start with our... I'm just going to trace the edge of the petal with sort of our dark... Well, this isn't really the dark, but the medium color here. And do a little of that. And that's this big rose in front. And hopefully I won't go into a coloring coma. I'm thinking I'm going to leave the sentiment probably white unless I get ink on it. And then I'll probably make it whatever color that accidentally turns into. But I'm just going to do the edge of the petal, because generally the edge of the flower's petals tends to be more pigmented than sort of the center of the petal. And I'm kind of looking at this big rose to sort of figure out where the rose ends. There really aren't leaves in this particular piece of art, which makes it easier, at least for me. Because then I can just come back in and do my lighter color. And we don't necessarily have to color all these things either. Who was it? Someone on Craft Roulette recently did a really neat... Oh, hi, Jenna. How are you? Just catching up on chat here. Little house, but the kitty one is, well, oh, we won't discuss. Oh, see, that's an addiction I don't share, although I just bought more Christmas paper. So, as you know, we both have our little paper grabbing moments. Now, as you can see with these tri-blends, like, you were not quite getting a true halftone here. So if we want to break that up, I'm going to make sure I'm fully saturating. And the good news is I didn't know what exactly I was getting when it comes to the ink here, but it appears to not have an issue with alcohol safe. So you guys probably know this tip already, but what you can do is you can take your lighter color, which is, at least in the case of tri-blends, usually like the same colorant, just more blender, and you can just pick up with your lighter color from your darker color. And then when you come in and do a sort of blend it out, it will soften that line pretty dramatically. As you can see, I did it on that petal. I think I'll do it because I am liking how that looks. Depending on sort of how much space you have, this may or may not be apparent on your line art. This line art I really like. I'm kind of liking this idea of like leaving this one big flower. Maybe do two other ones to do sort of the rule of threes thing that always seems to work well in cards. But I'm just sort of looking at any of these petals that look a little too contrasty to my eye. And Lennox is overseeing, of course. Some of these smaller petals, it doesn't really matter too much. And the thing about alcohol ink that's, I guess I shouldn't say alcohol ink, but alcohol ink markers, it's a little hard, took me a while to wrap my head around anyway, is like it works more like watercolor in that like stuff doesn't necessarily blend per se. It's just that you're layering more layers of something on top and then everything's translucent. So it works kind of more like stained glass and less like, mixing acrylics. So this is how, as you can see, we went all the way through pretty quickly. This is how one looks. I'm thinking we're going to do this one and then maybe this one down here to sort of balance this out because this is a pretty big focal piece on this side. I think I'm going to stay with the same tone. I might do them darker. Like, let's see what the dark looks like. I think especially for this one in the background, we'll do. Let's try it. I don't know. This looks like a very dark. It is. This is almost maroon, but there are maroon roses because I planted them when I was a kid. So we're going to do this one with, this is the dark, and then the medium is the light color. And see how we like that. It looks, to my eye, like I need like a pokey thing so I can explain things. So it looks like this petal is actually part of this flower, or at least, or part of a flower that's behind the sentiment strip. It doesn't, this one looks like it's more in the background. So anyway, I probably should have told you what blend this is. This is the bright pink blend, which to me that is not bright. I mean, this is bright pink, but the purple color is not bright pink. But Spectrum Noir did not consult me in how they name anything. So, actually, that looks pretty good. I'm liking that. Okay. I do kind of like this contrast, though. The dark and the mid actually work pretty well together without too much help, which is interesting. So let's go in and do the rest of this. This looks like it's the part of the same rose. Like this looks like it's all part of one petal. And because these petals are so tightly packed, I'm not going to like try and hit everyone because then it would just look very dark. So I'm just sort of tapping on the edge of those petals. These top ones I might want to come in and reblend a little bit just because they're very front and center. But I think everything down here where I'm currently coloring is going to not need too much. But I am going to do... Oh, these are on the same marker, so they're a little hard. So I'm just going to come over and do another layer. There we go. So I think that's going to be our focal piece. And we could do something very, I do like this, like front and center, and then I do like that with the condolences, kind of. I mean, I don't like condolences as a sentiment, but I kind of like this as an idea. So let's figure out how big this is, and then we can make a mat for it. It is a little more than 2.5, so like 2 3/4, kind of. It's probably the right measurement. Let me see if I'm missing anything while I was focused on coloring. Oh, we were talking about Tailored Expressions. I haven't actually looked at their whatever you'd call those, almost a monogram stamp. Tailored Expressions is not a brand I have experimented with a lot. So I've always been very excited about their quad stencils because they just look like such a cool idea. Yeah, like I think that'll work nicely here. Maybe we should maybe color this in a light gray and then bring in. We have this gray I've really been liking lately because it's a fairly like it's an earthier gray, warmer gray words, right? So I think that would look very pretty. Although I'm going to cut this as a top folding card because they look cuter, in my opinion. If you like side folding A2s, go nuts. I still want to figure out where this paper came from because I rather liked it. Although there was a yes, hi. Excuse me, sir. We will put one over to the side. We may do another card. In fact, we probably will because it's only 522. Although I do kind of want to end on time since I'm doing a redirect. But anyway. Also, other tip is if it's a little, your card is probably going to be a little longer on one side. Just make the longer side the front, and then you won't have to deal with too much in the way of trimming. Or you can trim the whole thing, but I usually just make it the front. So I'm just going to fold that down. I think this is already matted, so I don't think I have to do much other than mount this. No. So let's get all this together, and then we will take a little peek at what we want to do. If anyone has thoughts, I'm thinking I might actually do a condolences card because I think it makes sense with the I love you sentiment that's on the focal point already. And I hate doing sympathy cards. So if I accidentally made a sympathy card, that's probably just awesome. I guess I shouldn't say I don't like making sympathy cards. I always find it a hard note to hit, I guess. Because it's like, on one hand, I want to do something that's like, respectful. But on the other hand, I like doing fun things too. So I'm thinking we just do a very straightforward like that because I like that. I do want to kind of see if I have a gray that kind of matches this. I'm thinking like a warm gray. Let's see, warm gray something. I have a warm gray 5, which I think is probably going to be close. If I have some, well, this is the wrong color, but we'll just try this to see how dark this is. That's a little dark. Maybe not a 5. A 3 would be nice, but I don't think I have one. I have every color except the one I want. Let's do a warm gray 2. That's probably, yeah. Anyway, this is the 5, which I thought was too dark. The 2 I think will work nicely. The 2 is sort of a Lennox gray. But I kind of want to bring some of the gray in from the card base into this focal point. We'll see if this is a horrible idea. You could actually bring in some shading if I wanted to. And if I had the color I actually wanted, I probably would have. What I'm going to do is try and do sort of a usually called a rake. What I've heard called a rake stroke. Basically, what you're trying to do is have the your pressure lighten as you stroke, so that you basically have it's darker on one side, and then you start to see what's underneath. So basically, did 2 layers of this. I kind of like how that came out. It looks a little more, and it's lighter in the middle, which I kind of like. So when you mat that on black and then put it here, I do like how that's kind of coming together. Anyway, let me see if I'm missing witty things. Oh, thank you. Hey, Stamper Girl. Me too. It wasn't, I don't think it was mentioned where it came from. It was a mysterious thing from Kendra's stash. Although every time I see an image of hers I like, it almost always shows up in some of the patron card kits. So FYI, if you get her digital products. Or she'll probably be in Lala's stream. I did print out the, well, let's try and be let me stick this down, but then I'll try to be semi-competent and because I did print out again where this came from. I don't think it said specifically about the image, but let's find out. Let's see what we got. We have the Honeybee Stamps, who made the paper, which is retired. Script sentiments and foilables. That mean if they're foilables, they're probably from Pink and Main. I will check quickly. Because the nice thing about Google Docs is they have links that are clickable. Except my browser hates me today and needs me. Here we go. Script sentiments and foilables. Yeah, it's no, the heart's still a mystery. So these scripty sentiments are Pink and Main, but I don't know where the other bit's from. Oh well, it's a mystery. But we tried. So anyway, I do like it a lot. The stamp I really want. I don't know, Delise, if you'll remember this, but there was this really cool. It's not the Stamps of Life. It's somebody else. Anyway, there was this really cool card kit that I did in April as part of my in-person crafting, which had it had like a lady, but she had like butterflies and magic in her hair, and it was really cool. Anyway. I'm thinking condolences make sense, even though it's not my favorite sentiment. But we can mat it and it'll look cute anyway. I'm just going to eyeball time, and these are not foiled, but because they're foiled, these are toner reactive if you were a toner reactive sort of person. Although I don't know that condolences is something I'd make like a super blingy card on. Anyway, there we go. Nicely even, and we can use some of this paper. I think I can just stick this down and then sort of fussy cut around it. Hi, Irma. Welcome. Hey, Dee. How are you? I hope you were having a good week. I don't think I talked to you this week. So I'm just going to try and copy my border. And then eyeball this, which is not really my strong suit, but we will persevere. There we go. That's not terrible. I am still really liking these Cutter Bee scissors, which I wasn't sure if I would dig them or not. I think I'm going to leave this not popped up, just from a, like, given sort of the nature of a condolences card. I kind of like the idea of it being sort of more subtle. Whoops. There we go. Get a little adhesive on the back. And the nice part about these geometric patterns is it actually makes lining stuff up a lot easier. So I'm just going to go for sort of there. And I think what we can do is cut a white piece and then use one of these rose stickers on the inside to kind of bring through that rose idea. Whoops, sorry. I'm sorry, I whacked the kitty. I didn't mean to whack you. Aw. We'll settle down in a sec. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness, it's always something, isn't it? Yeah, here we go. Random paper trimmers just flying in from space. But I did find a project I'm really interested to try that hopefully will use up some of my copious amounts of 3x4 like journaling cards. Let's just get this down. Because as people start to do craft fairs, I feel very lucky because mine is not until fairly late in the season. It actually falls almost on my birthday. I like this. Maybe cut off the stem a little bit. Back up. Back off the stem and... Oh, that looks perfect. Yeah, that'll work nicely. And if you want this to be like super duper even, you can always, like other things, if you decorate it and then before you glue it down to the card, that can help. And hopefully these will come off. There we are. Oh, Kaiser says hello. If you just heard him. Whoop. There we are. As other people have said, sometimes the most difficult part is that when the release paper doesn't really want to be release paper. So I'm just going to get the leaves lined up so that they're ever so slightly overlapping the edge of the card base. Well, not the edge, but like going to the edge. So it kind of breaks this line of the mat here. And I'm just going to leave this blank so there's more room to write. But and we have 2 sentiments on the front. As you can see, when this when the alcohol ink dried, it wound up looking quite nice. Anyway, I like how that one came out. Oh, did you? I don't know. I've been enjoying the cutter bees. I don't use them a ton, obviously, but like when I use them, I'm always like, oh goodness, I should use these more often. So, how are we on time? We are quite nice. So I'm thinking we can do my other idea. Because I really like some of these patterns. That's a lot of pattern. I don't really have... Well, this is kind of subtle. That I like together, because this is gray and then this is more vivid. Thinking we could use one of these roses and make another... We could use sort of some of our leftover black and do another focal point with some of the white. So let me see what sizes we're working with. Make sure we don't whack our good friend again. I'm just going to cut this to 3 inches by whatever seems reasonable. This is not quite 3. 2 1/4 maybe? What does 2.5 look like? Oh, 2.5 I like. So this is 3 by 2.5. And then I want to cut a similar white piece. So we'll cut that a 1/4 inch smaller on all sides. There we go. Except that was horribly, I think I miscut that. So is this is the right what did I cut this to? This is 2.5. So 2 1/4 is the right. Oh, I did it 1 3/4, not 2 1/4. Details. There we go. That is better. Like the kitties are off to forage. Oh, thanks. I liked it too. I like these mystery card kits because it's sort of like you are kind of working with ideas in real time. Yeah, so I'm thinking like this as sort of an idea. This obviously needs to get cut down a little bit. This is a reasonable panel. And then we'll just probably, I think what we can do is use one of these roses and then really just any parts of it we don't want, we can just sort of cut off. Or wrap around. Actually, these are fairly thin stickers, so we could just wrap around to the back. Let us do that. Because this is a nice, this is a really nice theme. I like this theme a lot. Although it's sort of, I don't know. I don't know about others in the Midwest, but I'm getting really excited to, oh no. Hopefully that won't rip too much. Could try it from another angle. I think that'll be fine. Luckily, this vinyl is pretty resilient. Yeah. So let's just see if we can't get the bottom off here. I don't have a trick, but I don't really have a trick for getting stickers off. Other than using sort of the toughness of the sticker in your favor. See, this was starting to rip, but you can't even tell because the vinyl is quite resilient. Once these are down, they're going to be really down, but I want to leave a little bit of headspace because I think I could squeeze in one of the smaller sediments. So I'm just going to put this down like this, and then I'm just going to wrap it. You can do the same trick with ribbon too, where, then you don't have to cut it because you can just wrap it around. And I'm thinking this greetings would look quite nice. Sending cheer might also, sending cheer is like exactly the right, that's perfect. So sending cheer is exactly the right width. So I think we can just glue that down and then, well, I can probably just cut it now, but we could also glue this down and then cut it and go boop. Then we can look at this. This is actually pretty centered, so that's cool. As you can see, this, I don't know if it's reading on camera, but in real life, the sending cheer paper is slightly less white than this, which I believe is, it's not Nina, it's the other stuff. It's the Simon Hurley Stark White, which I've been using up, except for a couple projects where people were particular about what whites got used. But anyway, just FYI, if you're mixing manufacturers and papers, if that's a thing that drives you crazy, it can be avoided. It doesn't really bug me, especially when you realize that, like, in the composition of your whole card, there'll be something else going on. Anyway, so I'm kind of digging this. I don't know. The rose does seem a little somber for sending cheer. It's more like, I don't know, sending salutations about a very formal event happening. But we'll live with it. I mean, I do think roses can be cheerful. This just, this color palette is just pretty formal, so. And it is real hard. Oh, there we go. That's fine. It's real hard to see black on black mat. I should have probably put this. We got a little too much at the bottom, so I think I'm going to just trim that off ever so slightly. A fly's eyelash, if you will. There we go. And now that's much more even. Except I took I took slightly too much off the bottom, but it's fine. We shall persevere. Then this one, while we're here cutting things, I'm going to cut this to 5 1/4 because I believe that's what our panel is. Yeah, so basically we're going to do this, which is very similar to Sketch 12, I believe, in the current KCC. Anyway. And then what we could do is we could put our little black adhesive dots on the bottom here just to sort of even that off. If I haven't lost them. No, I'm thinking like a couple of these, like maybe 3 of these gems. Maybe not. They're kind of small. We could look in see if we have anything fancy in black. I probably don't because it's not really a color I work with. Although copper wouldn't be bad. It's also not the right color, but copper I wouldn't hate copper. Oh, I do have some gold. I have some, whatever these are. I think these are the swirly ones. I think these swirly ones have a brown. I don't know. Let's find out. Yeah, like these brown swirly ones. I don't know. I may not have black. Red. These are not the right red, which is too bad. Because this is a very purpley red. We have some random stars. Maybe gold. These are honeybee. I guess that would be fitting. We'll use the honeybee gold ones, like the big ones, and put a couple down there when we are fully together. It is. I don't know. There was somebody I was really excited about pumpkin season, and they were like, oh my God, it's too early. Since we have this other card base cut, I think we'll continue with this because all I have to do is score it. And hopefully not cut it in half. I'm ready for fall, though. Fall is one of my favorite crafting seasons because, like, all the themes are very things I like, meaning like they're food and or food. I guess there are other things. Fall leaves, which involve getting apple cider, which is a food. And yeah, a lot of that. There's a lot of that stuff I do like. But anyway, let's get this card together. It's kind of weird. Like professionally, fall is actually kind of busy because everybody gets kind of into what they want to get done by the end of the year. But I always kind of think of fall as like after the not work-related hecticness of the summer. Oh, this is kind of nice. I kind of like this is like a bigger version of this. The zigzag is nice too, but I do like the idea that this is almost like the same print. I think I'll do that side. What was I saying? Oh yeah. Like it seems like the summer is hectic with not work stuff, and then this time of year is like hectic with work stuff. Now these, because they're a fairly directional pattern, I'm going to try and mostly get lined up. And then I'm just going to get rid of the extra adhesive. You can, of course, use a glue thingy if you want to. Let's pop this up because we can. And I still have not gotten my new foam tape out. So we'll use mini dimensionals because they're here. But this is not the most efficient way to do this. And yes, I did get a new roll of like foam tape for big things from Michaels. And yes, they do make these in a larger size. These were at my desk. But this is why you can use the sort of side bits of these and, not go through as many if you're trying to do a full panel. You could also just layer up panels under this as well. And then once the edge is done, I'm just going to do a couple to make sure we don't have like a soggy middle because I'm not a fan of that. These are actually fairly resilient, but I don't know. I'm always more of a more is more kind of foam adhesive person because I feel like no one ever said you put too much foam adhesive on that other than the post office. In which case you can just use the fancy stamp or the non-machinable one, I mean. Although it's weird, I had the post office like not really lose a package, but it took like, I don't know, a month for priority mail to show up, which is kind of, I don't know, odd. But it might have been my fault too. Like I may have not done something correctly because that happens, especially if I'm not paying attention. Anyway, here we go. Now all our sticky things are sticky. I'm just going to eyeball this in the middle, which again, I feel like is really easy with this kind of paper. So I'm just going to sort of space this based on the diamonds. I like how that looks. I don't think it actually needs the gold. I think since I popped this up, that adds kind of enough visual, but I feel like if it was flat, like, I don't know, gold or no gold, I'm kind of liking, I kind of could go either way. Let me scroll down. Yes. Pumpkin seeds are delicious. I think I'm just going to leave it. Because I think we can do like a rose, like one of these big roses on the inside, like kind of like here. But this time I'll take my own advice. Maybe. Is this... No, I just cut this whole panel weird. Go me. Oh, well. But I'm also excited. Even though I did a whole Christmas in July thing, I'm still excited for Christmas to show up. Yeah, let's do that, and then we can do the wrapping trick again. I like that as a visual element. Oh, thanks, Barbara. Yeah, I love bling, but I also like, sometimes you get a card done and you're kind of like, I don't really know that it needs anything else. Although I do like the any of those clear glitter pens, like both the Wink of Stella and what's the other one? The Spectrum Noir makes a whole bunch of them. Spectrum Noir makes them in like 70 bajillion colors too, but I actually really like the just the clear one because then you can just put it over whatever ink color you're using, and then then you don't need a bunch of colors. So I'm thinking we could let's do this like that. And again, I'm just going to wrap the stem around because don't really need to. And these are very adhesive-y, so you don't really have to worry about it too much. Of course, if you're using something that is not very adhesive-y, all you have to really do is tack it down, because once you put on the adhesive I'm adding now and glue the whole panel down, like, it's not really going to go anywhere. So if you're using twine or ribbon or whatever, you can do the same thing where you basically wrap it and then just tack it down and go from there. Organizing, I found way too much Christmas ribbon, but you know. And we are perfectly on time. So we have probably enough to make another card, even though we use 2 full panels, because we have a thank you and this little piece, because we could probably do something with this and the rose. So I really feel like these mini card kits are enough to usually make about 3 cards, unless you really, really want to use pattern paper everywhere. I will put those dots away. Oh, and there's another piece of black, which another piece of zigzag. So this is all, so this is everything that's left over, not counting the enamel dots that I put away. And then this is the card we just finished. This is our first card, working on sort of a black and white theme, which is not usually my go-to theme, but it's really fun to play with because I like it. I mean, I think monochromatic always looks, I don't know, very formal in a good way. So those are the cards we did. In a couple of minutes, I believe Lala will be streaming, and this should redirect you there. So I think she'll be live at the top of the hour. I don't think I have anything too special coming up, although I'm going to start doing the Thursday streams again, although I don't have any specific plans, but mostly because some folks were asking, and it's always good to like craft something during the week. Like last week, I don't think I like came into my craft area at all, just because I was busy with work, this and that, and you know, work always is busy, so you just kind of should come and craft anyway. Anyway, it was great seeing y'all. If you have any questions, feel free to leave comments down below or anywhere else on my socials. As usual, I do tend to post on Instagram photos of these cards because video lies in terms of what color anything is. So I think once they're color corrected, you get more of a what they look like in real life kind of vibe. Have a good evening, everyone, and I hope you guys have a fantastic Monday. Talk to you later on, or I'll probably see you over in Lala's stream.